Hey, Dark Side Lit. This is Mr. Gunderson, and welcome to Distance Learning. We are embarking on a brand new adventure, and it's going to be all good. Okay, um, to start off here today, I want to just real quick talk about um, this Dark Side Lit Distance Learning information folder. If you open that up, there's a welcome to distance learning video that just talks about the expectations and different things um, regarding this new way of learning. I also have this contact information sheet, that has different ways for you to contact me. Email, Schoology Messenger. You can text me in Remind, and you can call my school phone number, all that good stuff. If you didn't get a chance to sign up for Remind, please do that. I think that's going to be a vital component to communication. As normal, I have in the class calendars the month of April, the distance learning month of April, broken down the entire month, week, and day. So you'll know what we're doing, when we're doing it, and when things are due there. And of course, over here in the upcoming tab, if you click on that and open it up, it'll have the day-by-day snapshot of what we're doing. All right, the other thing I want to bring to your attention is over here is I have this little tool called Analytics. And what this does is I can see everybody in here, all class members in here, and it shows me the last time that you accessed Schoology, and it shows me the last time that you accessed course materials. That's going to be a very important key part to making sure that you guys are staying on track and doing what you need to do. I will be checking that every single day, and I need to see that you are accessing Schoology and accessing course materials on a regular basis. All right? So, just so you know that I can see all of that good stuff. All right, today, so talking about our first day of distance learning here, we're going to be talking about, and we were going to be going into this anyway, right after serial killers, is we were going to be going into the sins, devil, afterlife folder, and we're starting off with the 7 deadly sins. And so I just want to talk about the 7 deadly sins. You'll have a couple of assignments, a short reading assignment that will go with that. All right, so the 7 deadly sins. Let's talk about that. One of the sub rules of the deal with the devil is the use of the 7 deadly sins. For ages, humankind is focused on its shortcomings. The ancient Greeks used the behavior of the gods to show many weaknesses like pride, lust, dishonesty, etc. The Catholic Church took those ancient Greek ideas and molded them into the traditional 7 deadly sins. Many Christian denominations teach this concept. Now, the 7 deadly sins have obviously, it's been around since Greek ancient times. There was an Italian author named Dante Alighieri who wrote a very famous work of literature he wrote 3 parts, the Paradiso, which was the 9 levels of heaven, the Purgatorio, which was the 9 levels of hell, and then the Inferno, which was the 9 levels of hell. Purgatorio was 9 levels of purgatory. Okay. Anyway, so that's probably the most famous work that deals with those 7 deadly sins and the 7 deadly sins and kind of where they are in the hierarchy of hell. All right, so the first one we'll talk about here is pride. Pride is excessive belief in one's own abilities that interferes with the individual's recognition of the grace of God. It has been called the sin from which all others arise. So this one's a big one. Okay, why we do it? Because hubris, ego, and selfishness are innately human qualities. And the punishment in hell, you'll be broken on a wheel. Now, this is not a hard and fast rule that this is going to happen to you if you commit this sin. This is taken from the internet. There's a lot of different interpretations of these 7 deadly sins, and this is just my interpretation. So, now, throughout this presentation, we're not going to show the video clips. It would take too much time, but I have clips for each of the 7 deadly sins based off the movie 7, which if you haven't seen the movie 7, I highly, highly suggest that you see it. It's fantastic. It's probably in my top 10 of all time movies. It's a very unique movie in that the serial killer in the movie is killing people based on the seven deadly sins. And so this is a clip of the murder of pride. Next one is gluttony. Gluttony is an inordinate desire to consume more than which one requires. Why we do it? Because it's self-gratification. Your punishment in hell, you'll be force-fed rats, toads, and snakes. Now, the thing that to keep in mind with the seven deadly sins is that these are the extreme. These are, past level 10. These aren't, this isn't, you didn't, if you go down to a China buffet and pig out, it doesn't mean that you have committed the sin of gluttony. You just, it has to be going to just the extreme. All right, that's the clip for gluttony from 7. Lust is an inordinate craving for the pleasures of the body. Why you do it? This is considered an uncontrollable urge. Your punishment in hell, you'll be smothered in fire and brimstone for all eternity. And there's the lust clip. Next is sloth, is the avoidance of physical or spiritual work. Why you do it? You're a shiftless, lazy, and good for nothing. Your punishment in hell, you'll be thrown into a pit of snakes. Okay, so now over here, if you look at this picture, and I found these pictures on the internet that all represent the seven deadly sins, as it uses the Grim Reaper here. Now, here's a person on a phone. Here's a person just lazy doing nothing. People gaming. Here's a little baby, a little kid over here. Now, that's where it gets into where it would be a sin, is if you are a father and you're just so late and neglecting your kids. That's where it gets into the sin of sloth and committing one of the seven deadly sins. Again, it has to go to an extreme. Next, we have greed, is a desire for material wealth or gain, ignoring the realm of the spiritual. It is also called avarice or covetousness. Why you do it? We live in a materialistic, consumerist world. This is a desire of never being satisfied and always wanting more. Your punishment, being boiled alive in oil for all eternity. Sounds fantastic. And there's a clip. Next one is envy. Envy is a desire for others' traits, statuses, abilities, or situation. Why you do it? Because other people seem so much luckier, smarter, more attractive, and better than you. Punishment in hell, you'll be immersed in freezing water for all eternity. And then here is wrath. Wrath is shown in the individual who spurns love and instead chooses anger. Why you do it? The people are wired for anger and violence. Think of murderers, serial killers, things like that. That's wrath. Punishment in hell. You'll be dismembered alive. Now, just forewarning, if you are going through this and you're watching the clips, do not watch this last one if you haven't seen the whole movie. I highly suggest that you watch the movie, but do not watch this clip because this is kind of at the end of the movie where he's envy and wrath all in one, and it's a great movie. It's got a great ending. So just skip past this. Now, on the other side of things, the church also has the 7 virtues. These are the positive qualities that are the inverse of the sin. So over here we have pride, humility, envy, kindness, gluttony, temperance or moderation, sloth, diligence, lust, chastity, greed, charity or generosity, and wrath, patience. Okay? All right, so we're going to skip this and let's talk about your assignment that goes with this, with the 7 deadly sins. All right, so if you click on here, and this will be open starting, this will be open here shortly, but the 7 deadly sins, symbols in the 7 deadly sins. So if you click on this, and it's think of a symbol. So again, symbols are an object, a person, or a place that take on a deeper meaning. All right, so think of a symbol to represent each of the 7 deadly sins. Open a document in Notability, or you can do it on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and upload it that way. That works too. And you're going to draw a symbol for each of the 7 deadly sins, and then write a sentence explaining each symbol and how it relates to the sin and how it represents it. All right, so here's a couple examples of past student work. So as it loads. Come on. All right, so here we have pride, and there's a first place medal, and then here's the explanation. Over here we have lust, live girls, billboard for a strip club, and explanation. Over here we have sloth, gaming controller, and explanation. All right, and so forth and so forth. So that's what you're doing. Let's take a look at that other example. All right, so again, sin, symbol, explanation. Sin, symbol, explanation. It's as easy as that. So you're coming up with your sin, come up with a symbol, draw it, and then write an explanation of how this symbol fits that sin. All right, so this is due on Friday, April 3rd. So basically you have all week to do this. Take your time, get it done, do a good job. And then next week we'll be talking about, let's see, let's go into here. Oops, yeah. Next week we'll be talking about, you're going to be reading Mask of the Red Death, which deals with the kind of the 7 deadly sins, symbolism, all kinds of stuff like that. It's an Edgar Allan Poe story. Can be tough to read, but we'll talk more about that next week. So you'll be reading it, you'll have some questions, you'll have a reading check, and that'll be for next week. Other than that, that is all I have for you. So we're getting into finishing, complete the 7 deadly sins assignment for this week. Make sure you get that turned in. Do not email me. Do not email me any assignments. Turn them right into Schoology, please. Okay, you guys know how to do this. We've been doing it all semester. We should have no problem with that at all. Again, communicate with me if you have any issues. Message me, talk to me, and we will figure it out. All right? If you have any questions, again, communicate with me. I think that's going to be a huge part of things. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you today. So make sure you get into Darkside, get into the folder, take care of things, and we'll talk to you later.